The governing National Democratic Congress is vowing to retaliate any violence visited on its supporters. The party says several of its sympathizers have fallen victim to such attacks and undue harassment in the aftermath of the defeat at the just-ended election. Addressing a news conference in Accra, National Chairman Kofi Potoffi highlighted a number of incidents involving its members and warned the NDC would take steps to protect its own. Hanodami has more.
The NDC national chairman mentioned, amongst others, the attack on the incumbent MP for Lejikuku, Benita Sena Okitidua, and songstress Miss Bell, accusing supporters of the MPP of being behind it. Mr. Potoffi could, however, not say how many of the students who are fleeing KNUST that a party is offering protection. At least one of the supposed attacks on party sympathizers has been discredited, lending credence to suggestions some of them may be mere orchestrations. But the NDC chair disagrees.
Who said all that be died? Who called on the people in the MPP to pick warmer food? Is it NDC? I've listed acts of violence, brigadiering, and killing. And you say that we are stage managing it. Respect us a little. Thank you. But we want to say in very clear, unequivocal terms that anybody who tries it after 7 January will not have it easy with the NDC at all.
Mr. Potoffi challenged the press
by demonstrators who were carrying and displaying pictures of Nanado and the MP for that constituency, Honorable Ajaku.
Mr. Potoffi could, however, not say how many of the students who are fleeing KNUST that a party is offering protection. At least one of the supposed attacks on party sympathizers has been discredited, lending credence to suggestions some of them may be mere orchestrations. But the NDC chair disagrees.
Who said all that be died? Who called on the people in the MPP to pick warmer food? Is it NDC? I've listed acts of violence, brigadiering, and killing. And you say that we are stage managing it. Respect us a little. Thank you. But we want to say in very clear, unequivocal terms that anybody who tries it after 7 January will not have it easy with the NDC at all.
Mr. Potoffi challenged the president-elect to immediately call his people to order.
We expect Nanado, the president-elect, should bring his people to book. Bring them to order. The appropriate person in MPP who should talk is Nanado.
He also advised members of the NDC who are blaming party officials for the defeat to desist and channel their grievances through the right medium.
Those of them who are going on the radio stations or are being lured by some stations to make statements that are not in keeping with the norms of our party should desist from doing it. It's let's meet at our branches, our constituencies, regions, and national, and resolve our problems.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odani.
Well, Joy News has been fact-checking claims by the NDC chairman that some lights at the water fountain at the newly constructed Kwame Nkrumah interchange have been destroyed in the jubilation that followed the MPP's victory in the just-ended election. Kofi Potoffi announced this at a news conference at the party headquarters on Thursday.
Shameful attacks on the contractors and workers at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, popularly known as Ghana Dubai, has brought work to a standstill there. The pity of it all is the destruction of the colorful lights from the water fountain that flows to the admiration of all. And almost every NDC member cannot move peacefully now with our paraphernalia on our car.
Well, Joy News found after a visit to the water fountain that the lights were intact. Some of the workers, however, confirmed they were attacked and warned by the jubilant mob to stop work. There was also evidence of destruction to posters of President Mahama. We're taking a break on Joy News Prime. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Police at Ybarra in the Ashanti region are on high alert following pockets of post-election violence there. The officers of the Ybarra Sechidumasi Municipal Assembly are under 24-hour surveillance after suspected MPP supporters stormed the place and hoisted party flags. They had earlier succeeded in taking over a revenue collection point at Ybarra. Inshira FM's Ohiming Terry visited the town and has filed this report.
The commercial town of Ybarra, ahead of the 2016 elections, was declared volatile and one of the flashpoints by the Regional Election Security Monitoring Team. Police have had to intervene to prevent MPP supporters from visiting mayhem on their political opponents. MPP flags and other souvenirs are seen scattered on the municipal assembly premises, where armed police personnel are on guard to provide security. A 30-year-old man, Emmanuel Kwame, had his fingers severed in a confrontation with MPP youth over President Mahama's billboard. His attacker, identified only as Nadari, has since absconded after the incident at nearby Homakon. Mohammed Bawa Brahma is outgoing municipal chief executive. He's worried about what he says are widespread attacks on NDC supporters.
They are widespread because even yesterday in Sechidumasi, school feeding caterers were attacked. Known MPP guys went and then overturned the post, throwing all the food away. In fact, if you look at this situation, you cannot call them pockets because it has started in Ybarra and it has gotten to Sechidumasi. As far as destroying food that is meant for school children, what I want to plead with the leadership of the MPP is that they should show leadership. They should call their people to order.
MPP constituency chairman Samuel Nsosakia Abagda admits party sympathizers seized a revenue collection point and hoisted party flag at the assembly. He, however, denies allegations they inflicted machete wounds on an NDC supporter.
It is not true that Homakon, an MPP supporter, has attacked an NDC supporter. I'm giving you assurance that Ybarra is now peaceful. You are in Ybarra, go to Ybarra, go from top to down. You see left and right and see whether there is any cases happening in Ybarra. There's nothing happening in Ybarra. There's a peace in Ybarra, and I will see to it that, because when I speak, even the NDC boys, those who knows me very well, when I speak, they hear. And the same thing that MPP too. The youth, when I speak to them, they listen to me very well. So I will see to it that peace prevail.
Meanwhile, the District Police Command says the situation is under control as security patrols is intensified in the area.
In a related development, the police says there have been 8 arrests in connection with violence across the country after the declaration of the 2016 election results. The Director of Public Affairs, Superintendent Severs Arthur, will not disclose the party affiliations of the persons involved, but maintains they will be treated as criminals. He was speaking on the Pulse.
We are on cases like what happened at Fiapre in the Bronx region, where some people went and bent down the toll booths. In that case, 2 persons have been arrested and have been put before court. The 2 have been granted bail. We are also talking about Sankori or Kukum, where some supporters also attack supporters of another party. And then in that case, 1 person has been arrested and he has been remanded in prison custody. Then we are also talking about a case in Chifupraso, where somebody is alleged to have attacked a member belonging to another political party and inflicting wounds on the person. Then there was a reprisal attack from the victim's party, And 3 persons involved in this case, the attack and the counter-attack, have been arrested and they have been put before court. All the 3 have been granted court bail pending further investigation. We have also arrested somebody, one Al-Hassan Ganamati Atta, in connection with the death of another person at Dunkonofin. So in all, I can say that about 8 persons have been arrested in connection with these incidents across the country, and we are looking for the others.
Now, we were told by the national chairman of the NDC, Kofi Potofi, that 1 person has actually died as a result of these attacks. Is the police aware of this? Is this true?
I am aware of about at least 1 person dying. I just mentioned the Dunkanofin incident, during which 1 person is alleged to have died. In fact, our information also is that another person has died in a different case. So yes, we are aware, and that is why it's music to the ears that somebody has been picked in connection with the Dunkanofin incident. One Al-Hassan Ganamati attack has been picked in connection with that case, and we are proceeding with the case so we get to its logical conclusion. We are not leaving any loose end untied. We are going to bring all the strands together as far as the incidents, attacks, and other things are concerned in connection with this election. We are not going to rest on our oars until we bring every perpetrator to book.
He also urged supporters of the National Democratic Congress to exercise restraint and not heed to the call by the national chairman for them to avenge attacks.
I will caution restraint. If it isn't a case that the police are not doing anything about it, I've just enumerated a few cases to you and your listeners and the general public. And so I think it has got to their hearing also. I will advise caution, I'll advise restraint. It's not for them as a party to exact punishment. It is for the courts. And somebody may want to go their way only when the law enforcement agencies are not doing anything about their plight. But here is the case. We are doing a lot about it. 8 persons have been arrested, and we are going ahead to ensure that we bring every perpetrator to book. So if they try anything to go on rampage themselves, they will also be inflicting on the law, and the long arms of the law will catch up with them. So I will advise that they exercise maximum restraint and look up to the security services, and also assist us with the requisite information to enable us pick up perpetrators. Criminals are behind this attack. We are not looking for any political party doing whatever. It is not that which is triggering or which is necessitating police arrest or which is necessitating arrest. It is the act of criminality which is necessitating. So we are not looking at political colors.
Now, the chairman of the MPP transition team, Asafo Mafo, says the incoming MPP government will soon hit the ground running to fulfill its campaign promise of reducing some taxes in the first 100 days of the Kufuor administration when the transition process is complete. Mr. Asafo Mafo spoke to media men after a NEC meeting at the Lisa Hotel here in Accra. Meanwhile, the NPP MP for Asing Central, Kennedy Jepong, has condemned the NDC chairman Kofi Potofi for his call on party faithful to retaliate when attacked. Favor Nunu was there.
It's been an exciting day for the NPP, where at the Alisa Hotel here in Accra, there was a National Executive Council meeting that saw the attendance of President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and former President John Agyekum Kufuor. In attendance were NEC members from across the country who discussed the events that were unfolding in the run-up towards the elections and how the NPP managed to snatch victory from the NDC.
We thank the President-elect and his Vice President-elect for giving us such a sound thrashing to the NDC for the good works they have done.
Beyond exchanging pleasantries and excitements about the elections, what did you discuss as regards to the work that lies ahead of you as a party and in terms of forming a government?
Well, we know it's an enormous task, but nevertheless, like I said, going by the record of John Agyekum Kufuor's presidency, we are we are bound to succeed. We are bound to succeed. And Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo means no worse in asking for hard work.
What about ministerial appointments? We hear that there's been lists, there have been names that have been...
The president-elect said he's going to do a lot of consultations. But we must also bear in mind that the buck stops with him, and that he is the final decision maker.
Of course,
that's the meaning of consultations. That's the meaning.
So did NEC present any list to him that he could actually...
We didn't, no.
So I caught up with the leader of the transitional team for the NPP, Osafo Mafo, and he's been speaking about the NPP's preparation to take over in government, the economy, and what they would do in the first 100 days of an NPP or Nana Akufo-Addo leadership.
Your management of the economy should make the ordinary Ghanaian comfortable so that he should be able to feel good.
What can we say will be some of the expectations or things that the party could roll out in about the 100 days of this government?
Certainly, we went out there and made certain promises, and we knew what we were talking about. We did not just promise them for nothing. We talked about looking at the tax structure of Ghana and reducing some taxes. Surely within the 100 days, some taxes will be reviewed and reduction will take place, that I'm sure.
But one person who will not let go of the latest events is the Honorable MP Kennedy Ejapon.
If NPP people are attacking NDC people, they should stop. I don't subscribe to that. It is not good for our country. We need a peaceful transition. So I'm surprised the NDC chairman also came out with such press conference. You know, we don't need that in this country.
Is it not because they feel pressured by the events that are unfolding, the season of toll booths and all of that?
Right. Yesterday, for instance, I went on air to condemn what the guys did at the toll booth. Apparently, one of the guys, worked with me, and I blasted him. If you go and do something like that, they think I am even part of it doing. But they think it's a revenge time in 2008, what they did. I don't subscribe to that. So I'm surprised the party chairman also came out to say that, NDC people should defend themselves. And, if he tries anything, I'll give one command and he'll be the first person to go down. That one I assure you. He cannot, and I repeat, read my lips. Potofi, with all his guns he has in his farms at Esiakwa, to cross route, he goes down first.
Now, it's a good time to shop for spare parts for your vehicle, especially if you shop from the second-hand market. It started off as rumors, but Joy News checks in the last few days have confirmed traders are indeed deciding on their own to slash their prices as a show of goodwill for the incoming NPP administration. Kuku Abang has more in this report from the Abosokan Spare Parts Hub here in Accra.
We are currently at the Abosokan Spare Parts Market, where we understand prices of their products here have been reduced drastically following the election of the new patriotic party into office for the year 2017. And I have a driver who tells me he's bought a fuel pump this morning, which has been reduced for him. Let's find out from him exactly by how much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pacho,
you're from Ybarra.
Ybarra. Now, what's your fuel pump in it?
Into fuel pump in the last week in a say. Last week in buy almost for 3.5.
My fuel pump got damaged last week, and when I came here to buy one, they told me it was going for 350 cedis. But now they've slashed it to 200 cedis, saying the incoming government has assured to reduce the taxes on imports. I have so many other friends who also have benefited from this. We hope this will continue so we could make enough profits to cater for our families.
So you just had a taxi driver tell us that a fuel pump which was going for 350 last week is now going for 200 Ghana cedis. Let's enter this system shop and find out also what the situation is like over here. Minya, me watching.
Major Sobrapani.
Number 12 Frozen.
About your friend Philip O'Day.
Okay, me also talk card tapes, ni speakers, ni adi waha. Business is saying.
Business boko.
You drive a big assassin see our fuel pump or toy or see 350 cities na normal ton last week, and now turn 200 cities. Also near my at the same.
Me patch us at pepe. Emra ye two abana ye declare and your bunny for me at say. And now I'm saying I'm able to tax in the bathroom. And say any man, near the might to say 500 Ghana cedis. Say on base so at the amount to say 4.5. Send a bear as you beat me.
I have also reduced the prices of my products. I was just last week selling this video player at 550 cedis because I was buying it at 500 cedis. Now I am selling it for 500 cedis because it's been sold to me for 450 cedis. We are only praying that the party will keep its promises so that we could continue to reduce the prices.
Okay, into say when now also not first say 500, so many more 450. Into also turn is best.
Me patch some the man 450 now. You better on 500.
Now I am selling it for 500 cedis because it's been sold to me for 450 cedis. We are only praying that the party will keep its promises so that we could continue to reduce the prices.
You are turn 150, but they say the man 80 cedis, and they say I turn 100 cedis.
Our next stop is a lamp shop, and here also we understand the prices have been reduced quite drastically. And this gentleman here is the owner of the shop. He tells me he's called Osei.
Businesses so far you go crack.
Yes, what prices.
We're reducing the prices because we believe the NPP will keep its promises to improve the economy. They've done it before, so we have no doubts in our minds at all. We never increased the prices earlier to sabotage the government. The exchange rates was simply bad, and we were making a lot of losses, so we needed to keep the prices a bit high so we could stay in business.
Watching Journey's Prime, still to come, the Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority is dismissing reports its chief executive is leading a special task force to destroy vital vehicle documents. We'll be back with business. Please stay tuned. The Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority is dismissing reports its chief executive is leading a special task force to destroy vital vehicle documents it doesn't want the incoming administration to see. Photographs of a pile of the supposed documents have been making the rounds on social media, with accompanying text suggesting they cover state-owned four-wheel drives of high-profile government officials, which the DVLA may want to make untraceable. The head of public relations at the DVLA, Kweku Dakun Afere, however, says the documents seen in the photographs, though are from the authority, are not being destroyed. He explains their documents scanned into the DVLA's digitized platform being sent back to the Accra office.
Indeed, is completely false. Sometime last year, we started a process towards digitizing our vehicle records because we realized that we were running out of space for keeping those records throughout all our offices. Okay. Then again, it's very important. Vehicle documents are very important, and so there was the important need for us to store them and store them very well. So we took a decision last year and went through the process and selected a consultant to digitize the records for us. The pictures that we are seeing in the media are simply documents that were taken from the 37 office. They have been scanned so that we can have them in soft copy, and they were simply being returned to the 37 office where they were taken from. For purposes of convenience, when we started the work, we decided that we should take the documents in batches. Okay.
such that at any point in time, when some customers come, at least they can have access to their documents and do their transfers and all other activities that would require that we assess their vehicle documents. And so the consultants have simply finished scanning and digitizing that batch of documents, and were being returned to the 37 office so that another batch could be taken away. I want to assure you that it has nothing to do with any attempt by DVLA to destroy documents that cover documents on government vehicle. Not at all. If you look at these documents I have here, they are advertisements we placed in the newspapers to inform our customers of the digitization exercise and advising them or informing them that in the event that they go to any of our offices to access their vehicle documents and they are told that the vehicles are taken away, they should understand, because indeed we are taking them away so we can digitize the vehicle records.
The Lankwantanang Medina Municipal Assembly has topped the 2016 District League table. Chief Executive for the Lankwantanang Municipality, Franklin Anku, speaking at the launch of the league table in Accra, attributed their success to hard work and the teamwork of his staff. The league table is a social accountability tool used in measuring the performance of the 216 districts in terms of development and improving the well-being of citizens. There's more in this report.
On behalf of the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, it is my honor and privilege to declare the 2016 District League table duly launched.
For the third time running, CDD Ghana, in partnership with UNICEF, have produced a district league table for all 216 districts in the country. The report focused on 6 key indicators, including health, education, sanitation, water, governance, and security. Chief Director of the Local Government Services Secretariat, Joseph Dasana, urged MMDAs to capitalize on the data provided by the DLT to advance development within their jurisdiction.
The league table will provide honorable assembly members, opinion leaders, chiefs, and civil societies to ask questions on how their districts are faring. The resulting awareness will generate further healthy competition and lead to improved service delivery. It is on this score that we urge all municipal, metro, and district assemblies to take advantage of this arrangement and use the data available to promote improved services to the people.
The Lankwantanang Medina Municipal Assembly came up tops on this year's league table with 77.8 points, whereas the Tema Metropolitan Assembly followed closely with 77.6 to place second. Goma West District, which came last in 2015, traded their position to North Tong in the Volta region. Even though Wa East placed 49th, it was adjudged the most improved district. Chief Executive for the Lankwantanang Medina Municipal Assembly attributed their success to the hard work of his staff.
Spoken about. We are actually working in that direction. We're supporting them, and that's why we cannot get any other place in Lankwantanang Medina Municipality to defecate. So as simply put, it is teamwork and good leadership. I want to use this opportunity to dedicate this first rank to the entire staff of Lankwantanang Medina Municipal Assembly. Thank you.
Research officer at the CDD, Mohammed Awal, has called on the government-elect to adapt its reports if it is key on promoting development at the district level.
For us, over time, we hope that at some point the central government will listen. Now we have a new government that will soon come in place. If you look at the NPP, it sort of talks about a lot of things that it seeks to do in its manifesto relative to decentralization.
Ernest Meno for Joy News.
We're taking a break. International news next. The MPP Member of Parliament-elect for Tano South, Benjamin Ybarra, says his party was smart enough to field him from an NDC stronghold of Delma, which culminated in the win of the just-ended elections in the constituency. Tano South is a known swing constituency that often votes skirt and blouse. The 39-year-old MP-elect polled 21,018 votes against the incumbent Dr. Hannah Bisu's 17,215 votes to win the Tano South parliamentary seat. Speaking to Joy News, Benjamin Ybarra alleged that the negative and intimidating attitudes of the incumbent MP, Dr. Hannah Bisu, and some NDC members is the reason most people did not vote for the party.
She thinks she must intimidate people and take over. The seat is for her, nobody should get closer and all those things. But we also sent message to people that for us to change that notion about us, then we need a leader who is sober, who is very humble, who is able or who will speak for them in all angles. And for that matter, people bought our message. So they decided to also give me the trial. And that led to our victory, not any magic or any other thing. The success also comes from where the NDC has been getting their votes from. That is the strongest area of NDC. That is the Delma zone. It's where I come from. Techimentia votes for NPP. Bechem has never voted for NDC. Almost all the time it's Delma that has been voting for NDC, and that is where NPP picked me from. So definitely I'll get votes from Delma because it's my hometown. I'll get Techimentia because it's NPP's strongest hold. Then I'll get Bechem in my favor. So I was even making this analysis that even if she wins at Delma and I wins at Techimentia, each is taking it or her home grounds or the strongest hold, Bechem will be a decider. And almost all dynamism on the grounds were in my favor. And that is why we managed to get such a nice victory.
The political season obviously had a huge toll on Ghanaians from all walks of life. Students as well were not left out as politicians trooped to their campuses in their constituencies as well to spread their messages, especially to first-time voters. Today, the area in focus is the Yawaso West Wagon, where the incumbent MPP MP, Emmanuel Jacko, was retained. Joseph Akable this morning spent some time with two students of the University of Ghana to find out how the politicking affected them and the expectations of the incoming government.
I'm some few minutes away from Legon Hall. Legon Hall has some two polling stations here, and they took part in the voting that took place on December 7. Now, the very interesting thing about this part of the constituency is the fact that it is essentially student-dominated, apart from the fact that you also have some lecturers who are registered voters in this particular constituency. Now, the bit of a difference again in terms of this constituency is the fact that before elections, the students were actually writing their exam, and they actually had to go on break and wait a while. After the exam, they continued. After the election, they continued with the exam that took place here. So that is another bit of interesting thing that took place in this particular constituency. I'm joined here by two gentlemen. Ezekiel is on my left here. He'll be sharing his thoughts with me. Essentially, the point will be asking them how the entire election atmosphere was before the polls, as well as the expectations from the MP-elect, who was retained, I must say, as well as the president-elect, what we'll be expecting from him as well. Also on my right is Benson. I'll be engaging the two of them. So let me first start off with Benson first. Even before the election, you were writing exam. How was the politicking in the constituency, like in terms of the two major political parties?
Oh, okay. I can say there was much tension in the system, and everyone was anticipating the best for his or her political party, and I think that there was much enthusiasm in the whole place, and we were all waiting for the best.
Yeah. How did the entire election affect your exam?
Okay, so based on the fact that this election was very important, based on the fact that the major two political parties, the MPP and NDC, have been campaigning for almost close to a year. So during the election, before the election, I had a paper on the 4th, which on the Sunday. So it was very really important and enthusiastic as a first voter, because I registered in 2014 to vote when the registration was open. So I was very important. I feel in this constituency, most of the students are kind of like they are tired based on the fact that they're not getting jobs after school. So I think one would be the main factor or main reason why many students voted against the sitting president for change or Nana Akufo-Addo.
I'll be coming back to you on a bit about jobs and your expectations. But just quickly, let me just find out from Benson as well whether the results, particularly for this question, whether you're surprised that Honorable Chairman Tejako was retained. Then again, what do you make of his performance over the past 4 years?
Oh, okay, I wasn't surprised when Tejako won because Tejako had contact with the people. He came around during our whole weeks and everything. And I think he also campaigned in buses and brought about some books sharing and everything. So Tejako had contact with the people. And I think that's basically the advantage that he had to his opponent. So maybe the opponent should beef up his game the next time.
Your expectations, you're in final year if I get that right. Exactly. So in a year, you'll be finishing school and then again, you'll be doing national service. In terms of your outlook going forward, what do you expect from the president-elect as well as from the MP-elect who has been retained for this constituency?
Okay, much is expected of the president-elect because he made much promises about one district, one factory and all. So we are hoping that he creates jobs for the youth and also empower the education system that the children and the youth are undergoing so that we can have a better future.
Up next, we bring you entertainment.